welcome in everybody to another episode of the Brett Allen Show. Today we have a very special guest. I'm excited. I reached out to have you on the show probably a year ago, and you weren't really promoting things, but we were like, we'll do it when there's something big coming up, and you have a fantastic project. But first, we're chatting with Emmanuelle Vaugier about her upcoming project, Big Sky River, which will premiere on the Hallmark channel and the W Network August 7th. Thanks for hanging out today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, this is exciting because it combines multiple things on multiple levels. Your love for horses, being an equestrian, acting. I'd like checks off all the boxes. Which I think when you're doing this and you get to do all the things that you love, it just has to feel fantastic.
It really does. I was ecstatic that I got to go to work and see horses every day and play with animals. It was ultimately like sort of my dream job.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like when you're a child and you get to do all the fun things that you want every day during the summer, but you actually do this for a living and you get paid for it and you get to do all the fun things. So that's very cool. This looks like a lot of fun. I've been reading a lot about this, but when people have the chance to watch it, can we let our viewers and listeners in a little bit about what it is and what they can sort of expect when they have a chance to see it?
Well, it's my character, Tara Kendall, moves from, or doesn't move from, she goes from New York to Montana for the summer to sort of get back to her roots and kind of take some time for herself. She's going through an ugly divorce and needs a break, and goes back to where she went to horse camp as a child, and she meets some people and a boy, and as you do, and
of course,
and then,
as you do.
Yeah, as you do. And I get to ride horses and without giving away too much, not that I'm giving anything away really, but she goes back to Montana where she went to horse camp and to sort of find herself and regroup, and things develop from there.
Yeah, I think that sums it up quite well. Again, like I said, I've been reading a lot about this and hearing a lot about it, and it's great and has a fantastic cast, one of which of your co-stars we've had on the show from Wind Calls the Heart. So not Wind Calls the Heart. I'm confused. Another one of those CW or shows.
No, Wind Calls the Heart. Cabin. Are you talking about Cabin?
Yes, Cabin. Yes.
Yeah, he's from Wind Calls the Heart.
Okay, Wind Calls the Heart. Okay, I digress a little bit. I'm trying to talk and look at my notes at the same time. It's a new skill set for me. But this is great. I mean, it's very exciting. So I want to dive into your career a little bit because you've been a part of so many great projects and things like that. But really, on a visceral level for this particular show, when people get a chance to watch it, what is sort of your hope or expectation, if there is such, for people to take away from this on a visceral level and sort of have something that they can hang on to and bite into?
Well, I think, just it's nice to come and do these podcasts and meet people and get a chance to talk to people because you get to share a piece of who you are as a person as opposed to what people might see on screen and different characters you've played, and just sort of share more of who I am versus my work life.
Yeah, I love it. Well, very curiously, again, just having done so many great things, but what was it that interested you in becoming an actor or becoming a storyteller? Like, what was that moment for you when you knew that this was something that you wanted to do or that you wanted to be a part of?
When I was in second grade, I did a school play and I was the understudy for I think it was like I was a narrator angel in a Christmas pageant of some sort that we were doing at school. And the girl got sick and I had my moment to shine. And that was sort of where I first got the bug of being on stage and performing. And I just loved it. And I found it a really great way to be able to express myself and quite therapeutic in many ways, like just throughout my life. So it's rewarding and satisfying to be able to channel different emotions and things, and also release things in a way that they're acceptable to release through a character on screen and maybe not so acceptable in day-to-day life. And that's very therapeutic for me, and also a lot of fun because it's freeing.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I've heard that a lot from different actors who kind of share this idea that it's an opportunity to just kind of be something different than what you might be in everyday life, and you get an opportunity to express yourself in a way. So I think that's great. I mean, the idea of it being freeing, I mean, because there's so much going on in the world, obviously, and life is crazy. It's nice to be able to plug into something else that's make believe, so to speak, versus kind of maybe having to deal with the day-to-day life and everything that's going on around, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Well, again, just having been a part of so many great projects and doing so many different things, is there one particular role or one particular thing that you get recognized the most for? Because you've played a lot of different characters, whether it be sci-fi, obviously 2.5 Men. I mean, I'd be remiss without mentioning that, but really all the other things that you've been a part of as well.
I think I get recognized a lot for 2.5 Men and also for Lost Girl. I would say those are probably the two that come up the most. I was actually just in a store the other day, and the girl was like, I reckon she was helping me with something. Are you? And I'm like, yes. She's like,
like,
oh
yeah,
goodness,
okay,
really
that's me.
It was Lost Girl. That
okay.
she was. I was like, that's great. I mean, I love that it's reached so many people, and that people are still such big fans of the show, even though it's off the air now. And Supernatural actually is another one.
Yeah, I mean, so
really
many.
remember.
Yeah, so many great things. Is there a particular role that you gravitate to when you're looking to do something, or is it more of you just enjoy the fact that you get to act and be a part of so many different worlds?
I think that's more it. I really enjoy the fact that I get to be a part of so many different worlds and get paid to do what I love. Like it's a lot of fun for me, and even though there are days and times in certain projects where you're working a lot and they're long days and long hours, but I sit there and I'm like, I say to myself, like, thank God I love this, because if I didn't, this would be the most miserable job on the planet. Because if you don't love it, it's not easy. But I love being immersed in it, and I love all the people I get to meet, and the characters I get to play, and the places I get to go, and just the whole, like, to me it's like summer camp, or not always summer camp, because sometimes we're in the dead of winter, but it's like camp to me, like, and it's all my new friends, and then it's sad when it's over, but you're like, oh, well, on to the next camp adventure, and then off you go on to a new one.
Yeah, I mean, because you've been at this for a very long time, and I think that would be, I find what you do and others extremely fascinating, because it's so different than what most people might be used to, and sort of the worlds that they might be able to connect, because you get to play so many different types of people. And I mean, it's not an easy job either. You know what I'm saying? When you start looking at, all the auditions and the competition and all the things that go into it, but you've had a very fantastic and successful career. And I think that's what brings me the most joy in talking to people, is the fact that it's so much fun for you to be able to do it, and that you really do love it, right? If there was a job that you had to do outside of acting, what would that be? Is there something that you would just maybe naturally gravitate towards, or you're just like, thank God I don't have to worry about that and I can just be an actor?
I mean, yes, I'm grateful and very lucky that I get to do this for a living. But if there was something, I think, as far as where else I'd end up, I'd say I'd love to do something, obviously, with animals. I thought when I was a kid, oh, I want to be a veterinarian, but I hate blood. I hate needles. I can't do it. I'm like, I don't want to see animals suffer. I just want to see them happy and healthy. And I think that's an incredibly difficult position to have as a career. I don't think I could. I don't think I would have the mental and emotional capacity to do it. So outside of that, probably like advertising or producing on somewhere in the business end of that, still on the sort of public, like, public relations type of area or arena in some capacity.
I love it. Well, one last thing I do want to make sure that we talk about, of course, you mentioned your love for animals, which I think is fantastic. And your 501c3 foundation, the Fluff Ball,
Yes.
which raises awareness and funds for animals. Let's talk about that. And we'll make sure to put a link in the show notes for this so people can educate themselves more and make themselves more familiar with what it is exactly.
So 501c3, the Fluff Ball, is a foundation that I founded about, and I guess it was in 2010. And what we do is we raise money and awareness through an annual cocktail event and also online campaigns for various charities that deal with animal welfare. So it's not just one charity. I always wanted to be able to help multiple charities as well as different types of animals and things that relate to also helping kids, like with therapy horses and just therapeutic riding and therapeutic work with animals and children. So this coming year, we are hoping to throw our first event since pre that thing that happened.
That shall not be mentioned. Yes.
Yeah, the thing that shall not be named. And so we have high hopes for a 2023 event, which hopefully we will be announcing that soon. It's just we're behind the scenes right now working on the details, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, it'll be a brand new, we're pivoting and creating a brand new event. I'm very, very excited and hopeful for 2023.
Yeah, that's very cool. And of course, we're excited about Big Sky River premiering on August 7th.
Yes.
At 9 p.m. Eastern Pacific time in the US, and then on the W Network August 12th. One last question. I would be remiss without mentioning, and I'm sure you talk about it all the time, any fond memories from 2.5 In, because it was such a great show. Your character, I mean, the whole thing was just phenomenal. I watch reruns on a regular basis because it's just a great show to laugh and just sort of unplug a little bit, because I mean, it was just a good show. I mean, there's a lot of great shows out there now, but shows like that are hard to come by, in my opinion. Please don't come at me, listeners and viewers, but it's true.
I mean, there were so many great memories from that show. I think one of the funny memories I had, well, there's many. The singing episode was probably my favorite episode, because I got to be silly and do my favorite thing, which is sing, and not well. I used to have a karaoke machine in my house, as every one of my friends who's ever been to my house knows very well. And so that was exciting for me. And the funny thing was, I remember when Chuck Lorre called me at home one day and was like, hey, left a message, and I called back. I was like, yes. And he was like, do you sing? And I was like, I mean, not really, like in the shower, maybe. He's like, there was like silence on the other end. And I'm like, uh-oh. He's like, perfect. And I was like, oh no, what are they planning? And then it was for this episode.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic. I mean, it's up there with, there's every episode had great moments, but now thinking about that was a lot of fun. Well, I'm excited for you and the future of everything. And of course, this amazing film that's coming out here very soon. Emmanuelle, thank you for being so gracious for your time. I appreciate it today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.